Hey, my name is Eve, and I don't see myself doing videos, but uh, anybody who's doing any right now kind of knows that feeling inside where it's just bubbling up. And it's minus 36 today outside with the wind chill, and I keep trying to go outside and take my mind away from what my soul is telling me to come on here and talk about, but it's not going away. So here I go. I'm one of those ones in a lone path. There's a lot of us that we just kind of had to do our work ourselves. And when we do find people that are amazing and light filled, they're not there to actually help us. They block us in different ways. That's their role. It's not saying like, oh, poor me, people don't help me. It's just that my path that I chose before I incarnated, I had a cocky soul that decided I was going to do all this alone with all obviously my higher self, and I'm always told I've got way more guides than anybody that nobody's ever seen. So thanks guys, like it's really great you're around. I feel ya, don't worry. So in this like path that I have, I don't have a lot anybody to talk to out loud about what I see or feel or how I'm transitioning, transforming, evolving, all that stuff. I see and hear a lot of light workers who say reach out, and yeah, it doesn't work for me. I also see and feel that although there's like so many channels out there, channelers, YouTube channels, people who are doing videos about love and light and compassion and so much, there is an awakening going on. There definitely is. I'm seeing duality everywhere though. That hasn't changed. It's just a different type. And that's kind of what I am not able to wrap my soul around. And I thought that when I did finally realize some messages that I would put forth, that it would be really fun and easy, and I thought I would find people who would bond with me and just love me forever, and we get best friends and have like all this bonding and shit. And I'm realizing that my first, maybe only message that I'm putting out here is gonna probably get me hated and disliked and trigger people to a point where they're not gonna have a great day, or the next, when it pops up in their feed and they see this video, they might not even be able to watch it. Because what I want to talk about ultimately is love, unconditional love, and the fact that love will save us all. And what I'm seeing in duality in like the community of awakening and everywhere is us and them, because we as light workers are awakened, but we can't wait till the Illuminati and the cabal and people who eat babies and people who do bad things to children, we can't wait till all these people are destroyed and that they don't exist anymore. And in saying that or thinking that, we're perpetuating duality. We're the ones stalling this ascension and complete collective consciousness, because we're stalling individually. Because if you thought that the hardest thing you had to do was forgive your narcissist ex-boyfriend or partner, or if you thought that your sexual child abuse in your past as a child or as a woman or as a man was the hardest thing that you were going to have to overcome, how to forgive the person who raped you or the person who abused you or the people who gaslighted you, if you thought that was the hardest thing you had to overcome, well, I'm here to give you a rude awakening today. It's not. You need to forgive everything. Love will save us all. Everybody gets a chance. No one gets left behind. This includes the people who disgust you right now, and this includes the people who you think are abominations. The people who you think are the worst are the ones that you have to forgive the most, so that we can all move on as a collective. Because no matter how bright you are, no matter how you shine, no matter how you see auras, no matter how you can read tarot, no matter how you can channel, no matter how you can do anything, if you haven't forgiven that yet, and if you can't see someone as wounded who has either chosen to sell their soul, because really you can't sell a soul. So all these wounded people in, Hollywood, all these people that we think are like just awful, and it's a limited thing too, eh? I don't want to put too many names out there because it's yucky, but it's like okay to not like the controversial star who's really out there and we know she eats babies and she does this shit, or he does. But the one actor or actress or singer who's like, they would never do that. Well, you know what? They probably did too. They're probably doing it right now. Or they're trying to get the fuck out of the loop right now. And the only way for them to get the fuck out of the loop is for us, everyone, as a collective, to stop thinking they are so freaking horrible. Because we're perpetuating it by thinking that. We are. What we're thinking that we're so great because we've elevated our consciousness, well, until you've actually elevated it, there's no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There is no evil people. You're not there yet. And it doesn't matter if you want to talk about, there's demons, there's entities. Yes, so what? So what if they're there? You choosing to talk about them is what brings them here. I'm 47 years old, plus 2 weeks and a couple days. And I've had people around me sitting, we're discussing something 20 years ago it was about. And a cat's going crazy in the house, a dog is going crazy, and the person beside me says, can you not feel the entity right beside you in the window? And I'm like, nope. Why would I? I don't believe in it. It can't hurt me. Yeah, it's there. But I didn't give it any power, and I won't give it any power if it happens again, or if it happens, could be dancing little devils right around me right now. So what? My angels are, way stronger. The final release, if you think you're there, is really the last purge of being disgusted by anyone. Because there is nothing that is unforgivable. Everyone has the choice. Free will. So yes, are there, reptilian bloodlines and families? Fuck yeah. Do they have a choice to ascend and to change their stars? Yes, they do. It doesn't matter if they've been born into a family since the beginning of time, and that this family was protected by a bloodline and all these pacts and all these things, because ultimately the truth is the light overcomes. So even if somebody sold their soul yesterday to Satan to make the best movie this fucking year, it doesn't matter if they have the mark of the beast right here. It doesn't. Because the little triangle in the circle that is the third eye overpowers the marks of the beast. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And I know it's really hard to imagine that you can forgive all this stuff. But ultimately you have to, because the people that you need to forgive are the people that you've been glorifying and loving since you were able to watch anything, whether it be a TV show, a movie, a singer, anything. that's entertainment. The disclosure that's coming, if you want to be prepared for it, is to not be horrified by the names and the people that are actually going to come out. Because you're the ones that are going to be on your asses being like, what the fuck? If you're in shock that so-and-so who only sings about love and light and beautiful stuff, if you think that they were spared. For us all to come together, it's about all being forgiven. I see a lot of comments of empaths who, on various different kind of forums, whether they be articles or YouTube videos, who are saying to what point they're, like in their house having, they're traumatized by what's going on in whatever country right now with whatever children, and save the children, and I can't sleep at night for what's happening to the children. You need to come back into yourself and realize we all, as souls, chose our lives. So when you put that really into perspective, you stop feeling sorry for the little baby or the little child, and you start seeing them as brave warriors who are just going to come back as someone else. That's it. That's what I find as well that I'm having trouble grasping about all this, everything. I have found one person that I look at videos and things that she talks about. Ooh, tell me. She is the only person who was able to accept death for what it was. Does that mean she didn't cry? Does that mean it didn't feel yucky sometimes? Fuck no, it does. It does feel yucky. But ultimately, her journey of the last couple months, knowing that her mother was going to pass away, 100% knew. When I started watching her and she was saying her mother had cancer, I was like, oh, I can't comment. I don't want to be the one that says, tells her that her mother dies. And finally, in a comment, she stated later that she knew. She's known the whole time. And I was like, oh, thank God. Okay. If she's that awake, she knows, obviously. But not only does she know, but she's accepted it to the point where she, speaks to her mother's oversoul weeks before she passed away. But that's the beauty of it. I finally found one person who realizes that the cycle is there. And it's not just in theory saying like everybody else is saying. Like, we all know the cycle's there. It's no big deal. I've been here before. I've been here since infinity and beyond. But I finally found that one person who's actually walking the walk and talking the talk. And that feels good. Because it's really easy to say that we incarnate over and over, but then you'll see the patterns of humans where they grieve for so long, their life is destroyed, they can't go on. So therefore they have not really aligned with that reality. It's hard, this whole thing, because it isn't pick and choose. You can't just pick who you forgive. It's not just about you. So if you're sitting there thinking like, I've forgiven everything, but you can't, consider that other people need forgiveness as well, whether they have raped someone or killed someone or whatever a soul was a part of in this reality, they still get to be awakened if they choose. They still are allowed to choose the light. And we have to want this for them. Because the more we want this for them, that we know they can do it, that's when collective consciousness can actually like whoosh. How's it going to happen if we pick and choose? It feels like high school when, there's two teams that need to be chosen at the beginning of gym class, and everybody's going for the jocks or the popular or whatever. And then you're leaving behind the one that, doesn't run good, and then you're leaving behind. And yeah, hope they'll get picked last on your team and you won't put them on the field. Well, that's not how it works. It might have been like that forever, but it's not like that anymore. I feel that, I don't know, my video might not even upload on my thing. I'm not that tech savvy. I feel that I might listen to myself and be like, fuck this, I'm not posting this shit. I've been, not come out with anything, and this is the first thing I gotta do. And then ultimately might not even upload on my thing. Maybe I'm just talking to myself to get it out. But if it does come out, go ahead, comment. If you want to be mean and if you want to say all the, yucky stuff, go ahead. It's going to have to come out anyway, so you might as well throw it on to me. I can handle it. Because ultimately I'm there. I really, really, really do believe that everyone is forgiven. I have trouble functioning in my everyday life because everyone is forgiven to me. So it doesn't matter if somebody's like a complete dick. I still like them and ultimately want to help them. So I have to use my discernment to make sure to what point somebody who's a complete dick I can give energy to make sure that I don't get, sucked into something that's not positive. But I'm still trying to figure out a way how to help anybody without it reverting me back into feeling like a victim, I guess. I don't know. Everything's so new in the sense of what the stages are. Is it possible to revert back to that? We'll see. I want disclosure. I'm ready for what comes with it. There is not one person that would shock me, and there's not one person that I'm not ready to forgive. I already have. For me, I remember when, I don't remember what month it was, when Kevin Spacey, everything blew up for him. And I've been protecting that motherfucker ever since. I thought he would show up in a suicide and all this stuff. And my best Christmas present this year, well, my second best, my first was a dog coming to me, telling me, have patience. If the dog can come, the rest will come too. And my second best birthday, sorry, my birthday's right after Christmas. My second best Christmas present was waking up to a feed of that Kevin Spacey video. I forget, my Frank, whatever, call me Frank, or I never watched House of Cards. I have no idea what the subject of that is, but I do see that he's coming into his power. He's going to be fine, and he's going to help to bring down the rest of this shit, because why should he be the only fucking scapegoat out there? People enabled him to do it because it was okay, and now that they think it's not okay, it's not okay. Well, guess what? It was never okay. And now's the time that move on. I really believe what's stalling or making everything progress the way that it is the fact that so many woke people, they're amazing. Like, there's people out there with gifts that are like just like shooting out there doing so much stuff, but that one little thing inside that's holding us all back is that they are going to go down. They must be eliminated. They must be this or that. Again, they are us. We are them. We are one. Once we grasp that, poof, elevate it a bit more and maybe a bit faster. I think we've got this. I know I do in my timelines. I see my timelines. I'm choosing which ones I want. Free will makes it that can only pick and choose so far because the other parties involved aren't ready and it's not time, or I'm not ready and they're waiting for me, depending on, you know, the veil that I still have. I limiting myself into how much I ingest of all this because it's my way, I guess. Again, love will save us all. Everybody. And the ones who choose not to ascend or awaken, we gotta be just as proud of them. That's their choice.